I'm sure you've seen such connectors at the back of your TV and peripheral devices like decoders, DVD players, VCRs, game consoles, and such. Well, this is a SCART cable. This is what is supposed to go between the TV and your peripheral device, and it's the easiest analog video and audio cable to use. This cable is also known as Euroscat or Peritel or Peritelevision in France. Sorry for my pronunciation. Hello there, my name is Dominic, and today I'm going to show you how to use this cable as well as these two other converters that I have. We are going to learn the features, advantages, and disadvantages of each, as well as the cost. Let's start with the SCART to SCART cable. I bought this cable on AliExpress for 572 Kenya shillings or $4.42 US, and it has these Samsung labels. I'm not sure if it's a Samsung product. The cable has this notch at the back, and you have to match that at the back of the TV as well as at the back of the decoder. There is no way you can mess up connecting this cable. Before you insert the cable, always check for any bent pins. I can't see any, so I'm just going to insert it at the back of the TV. No bent pins on this other connector, and I'm just going to insert it at the back of my satellite decoder. And you can see how easy it is. I didn't have to match any cables to any colors or anything. By the way, I have a separate video about how to connect AV to this 5-port over here, as well as the component input. Using the TV remote, I'm going to select AV1. And that is the input directly from this decoder. If we take a look at inside this connector, you can see that it has a lot of cables inside. In fact, it has 20 cables. It's actually 21, including the shielding cable that is soldered directly to this metallic outer part. Now, this SCART cable gathers all analog signal connections in one single cable, and that's why it's very easy to connect it. It can carry a composite signal or the normal AV signals that includes the yellow, red, and white. It can also carry S video, RGB video, as well as component video. I talked about component video a while back on my channel. It's the protocol that uses the green, blue, and red cables. And with these cables, you can get a HD signal, but that depends on the decoder as well as on the TV. My satellite decoder can only give me a standard definition output at the back of the SCART port, and you can see here, that is an SD signal. The TV also doesn't help because it only accepts SD signals through AV1. If you get a compatible decoder and TV, you can actually get a HD signal up to 1080 using this analog cable. Another interesting fact I learned about SCART is that with a compatible peripheral device, just by switching on the device, it can actually switch on the TV from standby and select the appropriate input. That seems very similar to HDMI CEC. And that's the reason I believe this thing has been overtaken by HDMI. Now, let's take a look at the converter cables. Here I have the converter to RCA and one with a selector switch at the back. Let's start with this cable. Originally, this cable didn't look like this. It had 4 RCA ports, 2 for audio video in and 2 for audio video out. Now, the SCART protocol supports audio and video in as well as audio and video out. The disadvantage with the original cable is that it only supported mono audio, and that's why I removed that cable and soldered this as well as the other cable, as you can see in this picture, so that I can get full stereo audio as well as video output. Now, if you take a look at inside this connector, you can see that it has very few cables compared to the original SCART cable that I had. That's because this is just a cheap SCART converter cable. And this is how you connect it. The SCART portion goes at the back of the TV. And you have to match the colors on the RCA ports. Yellow for yellow, which is video, and the red and white for the audio. This cable is normally used if your TV does not have the corresponding RCA ports, or maybe you have something else connected to the RCA ports. And there are quite a number of variations of this cable. You can actually get one with a 3.5mm audio and video jack at the other end. But honestly, I prefer this connector to the cables, and let me show why. That's the normal SCART port, and at the back we have the composite or AV outputs, the yellow for video and red and white for the audio, as well as S video. This is S video. Now, what is this slider switch for? Just insert it at the back of the TV, and you can see it has transformed the SCART port into a normal AV port. The next step is to take your normal RCA cables and match the colors. And again, just like before, I will have to select AV1 on my TV so that I can get a signal from my decoder into my TV. Now that's the first method of connecting this converter. The second method is we take this converter and we flip it to out so that we can connect it to the decoder, because we want to get a video out signal from the decoder, and the AV cables will go back to the TV, and I just have to match the yellow with the yellow and the audio red and white cables. And in this method again, I can get a signal from this decoder into the TV. Now there is a third option, but right now we are not going to use the decoder. Leaving the selector switch in the out position, in this position I can get a video and audio output from this TV. The three AV cables have been connected directly to the AV input of this second TV, and if I select the AV input, you can see that I'm now getting a signal directly from this TV into the second TV. Even if I change the channels, you can see I'm getting exactly the same thing on both televisions. Well, everything apart from the menu. The menu will remain on the main TV, but not on the second TV. I actually wrote an article about this very many years ago, about the AV output, but in that video I used mainly the audio output into an amplifier. Lastly, I want to show you a trick that I have with the SCART as well as the AV output. This SCART port is connected to this TV, and this AV output is connected to this second TV. I can get this decoder to display on two separate TVs at the same time. And I think in the future, I'm going to do more videos about how to connect decoders to more than one TV. And I can actually connect a third TV to this decoder using the RF output. And I have a separate video about that. But I'm still going to do a separate video about how to connect decoders to more than one TV. That's it. I hope you learned something new today. If so, please leave a like, subscribe if you haven't. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you for watching till the end, and goodbye.